Howdy, Tiger's Eye. Oh, wake up, Watchwoman. Sorry to wake you. At least you wake up to my... We got squares, don't we? Nope, this is China. Hello, Michelle. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Okay, let's get started here. Got some adjustments or something different here. Close enough? There we go. All right. As you can see, look at this little weird little, almost looks like a profile of like the George Washington on a coin or something here. Let's zoom in a little tighter on this. This is our thumbnail here. And you can see the backside of our round object here with a bunch of plasma dammed up behind it here. All right, but it's casting kind of like a little shadow or whatever. But it almost looks like the profile of like George Washington with a little bun here on the back and their nose, and the profile like on a coin or something. Just kind of odd. So that's why I named it profile. I couldn't think anything else. I'm like, that looks like a coin with a profile of George Washington or some president on it or something, right? Odd, but it is what it is. Okay, and it's the backside of this object's right around here. You can see all the plasma that's dammed up behind it. Okay, so while we're kind of backing out of this and getting all loaded up here, 6/14/24. All right, while that's loading up there, getting measured up here, I'd like to thank all of you guys for taking some of your precious time to be here with this precious family, to be a member of this precious family. And you know how precious it is for those who are the real members of this family. Okay, so here's your 61424. There's your loop playing. Okay, and you can see we had that UFO thing over here that came out yesterday or last night when I showed you. Right there, leaving. And same thing was in the clouds over my valley all day long today. So I think they arrived pretty quick. Anyways, we're going to dive into this here in a second. Let me grab the opening frame. All right. So let's get rid of that. Something haunting in the background. There we go. And that can go as well. All right. So here we are. Opening frame. Let me get measured up here again. 024, 614. You can see here's our little UFO craft that we were looking at last night. And that just is not your regular round spheroid object. We saw a triangle shaped structure the day before, or, previous, right before this one. The triangle is coming out of this region. Now we have a saucer shaped type thing moving out there. Okay. That was the tail end of last night, the very beginning of today or whatever. All right. Now we have another small object moving through there. You can see, and see the spire. It's riding on that spire. That spire's pointing like a magnetic compass needle, incoming magnetic field, or one of these objects. Now look here. Between this point and this point, it looks like the electric magnetic or connection was made, an arc or something. See how it fills all in right there? So little thing right there possibly coming out caused that whole thing to connect an arc. Whoops, let me back up a little bit. Cause see that? It did arc, huh? It sure looks like it did. Watch, I'm going to do it again. And when we put this back into motion, watch that arc again. Well, later on, we put this back into motion. Let's keep clicking through here. There's something going on here. Spits and sputters. Then we have our slow motion, long duration event. And you can see towards the end here, the black spheroid object with the plasma dammed up behind it here. And I already showed you the profile picture, so let's just go up on this one right here, okay? Now, the backside of the object right here, it's still bathed in plasma on the bottom side, but it has this plasma that's dammed up behind it. Remember, it was coming out really slow. It's moving out slower than the solar wind or the CME or anything. It's moving slower. So when I put this back into motion, you will see how this comes out slowly and plasma dams up behind it, okay? We'll just kind of pluck away this. Well, we got it zoomed in here. Let's back it up. You see our teardrop shape right back here with the magnetic field still, let's go right there. Maybe just a tad bit before. Okay, our bubble, our magnetic field that's around this object causing, the teardrop effect as it pulls away. And the spaghettification of plasma, the stretching out like a rubber band till it kind of snaps and releases. Okay, that was the closing frame there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this into motion while it's zoomed in here and let you watch this slow long duration one right there. Then we can also see this UFO come out of here. Disc-shaped object. You can be the judge of this too, all right? I'm not going to mince words. I have seen plenty of real objects my whole life. Whether you believe it or not, wait until you see one for yourself. It will change your life. And so that is a disc. Come over here. Take a peek at it. Use your own zoom or magnification or whatever you want to go look at this. I'm not the one making these images. This is what's coming from the SOHO satellite. The difference model paints things, a little better than just plasma over here on the red side. So here we go. There's your 61424. All right. Now let's move on to our solar ham. You guys are so awesome. Today was an interesting day. Okay, so here we go. Here's our box right here for today's activity. You can see, boom, there's our like a not long duration event, but boom, kind of tapered off. And then we have another event right here going into tomorrow. Would you guys like to take a peek at this? No? Well, we're going to anyway. And I want every frame. Okie dokie, here we go. So 6:15, this probably right here, whatever activity going on right there. But no, look how we have this nice big long spire coming out of here. We'll probably see something happen in this region. Over here, this glowing area, we might see something come out of there. Also, these objects absorb light, right? So they leave a dark patch as well. So these darker patches where there's just no light coming out at all. How come there's big bright spire and then just zero coming out right there? Kind of odd, don't you think? Just this big black patch right there. So they also come out of these dark areas as well. All right. So not always is it, inducing one of these magnetic, more like a compass needle type effect. Sometimes they gobble up the light and you don't even see a needle. It's just all dark until it comes out of that darkness. Okay. So two different effects, but here you can see this one stretching out. We got activity, down in this region too. So I expect they'll see, more events coming out of those regions, and even maybe possibly the dark ones. Now, that was your 6:15. Not much to look at. Boom, 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 right there. So a little bumpy day today. Okay, it's not too bad, but I want to zoom back out now. We have to do a tad bit different. Oh wait, 110. Sorry. Okay, our indices are up here now. So our indices are 169. It's down just one. So pretty much still kind of floating even right there. Our sunspot number has dropped by 7. We're down to 117 sunspots. So we've dropped 7 sunspots. Our area right now doesn't matter. It's decreasing anyway. Geomagnetic forecast. Clear for the next 3 days, okay? M flare potential 35, X flare 5, sorry. Our 2M class flares, the 3.2 and the 2.4, still showing out of 13 and 12. 12 is now gone beta gamma delta. And 13 is beta gamma. So here we go, folks. Hold on tight. Now over here on our KP, let's open up KP. We're not taking on too much. A little bit above 2, but nothing too bad. Our auroras are mild. Here, we'll open up the auroras real quick. Auroras are, just medium, mild. Okay, yeah, dang. All right, let's get into this article. Solar activity during the past 24 hours was moderate, with the majority of detectable solar flares being centered around 3712 in the southeast quadrant. Okay, the active region produced an M2.4 flare, along with several minor C flares today so far. There is a 35% chance for another M flare during the next 24 hours, according to the latest NOAA update. Okay, no Earth-directed eruptions were observed. Okay, note no Earth-directed eruptions. Good. So stay tuned to Solarham for the latest space weather. Good job, you guys, Solarham. Thank you. So blessed to have somebody coordinate all that information for us, because I don't have the time. I have such a busy day. I could not even pull this off without these guys collecting the data on these instruments. So cheers to congrats to everyone, really. All right, so this one moving away, not even clipping our IMF line or anything like that, so nothing to fear there. Okay, that's good to see. I don't even know how we opened that. I also want to get into Earth-facing solar activity during the past 24 hours was at moderate levels, with a number of minor C flares and one low-level M flare detected. A few more far-sighted coronal mass ejections were observed, including a faint halo CME just after 2300. Needless to say, the chances for noteworthy solar flares declined, with AR 97 moving further beyond the limb, okay, beyond the west limb, yeah. With that said, 3712 now in the southeast quadrant has been slowly developing and will be monitored as it rotates into better Earth facing position. Not better, worse. Well, worse for us, but more in line, let's just say. All right. You see this big patch? You see how many little spotlets are around it? And this one big old core right there. We better take a peek here. We better just get in there. Okay, I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. You guys know how this works. Red, blue, positive, negative. When they get close, like this is where they arc, okay? Now, not only can they just arc where they're close, this could arc to that one could arc to this one could arc to that one. We have a four-way setup, all right? This other one, 13, this is beta, gamma, delta. This is going delta configuration. This one looks to go delta probably right next to it, because they're coming in line like this. So if we get two of these that close, they could arc back and forth to each other. I suspect in the coming days, we'll see this probably turn into a complex, okay? With multiple positive negatives, a multiple configuration where there's so many, possibilities. Okay, so it's growing in size and growing in complexity. This one with this perfectly round circle spot right here. Watch out there. We're already seeing a little bit of red and blue touching right out here. So everybody just pray, stay aware, stay alert. Okay, where were we? We were done with that one, son. I think. Yeah, because. All right, you see how these little getting all patchy right there. All right, so let's get on over here to spaceweathers.com, because we got a little bit of more of this going on, or more of this article here. Potentially dangerous sunspot 3712 has increased in size tenfold in the past 48 hours. I repeat, has increased tenfold in the past 48 hours. Would you like to see the little movie? Let's check it out. We were looking at it right there. We were just looking at it right here. It's grown and moved. Oh dear. Wow, that whole second spot developed after where we saw it. It was like right in this vicinity, right where my arrow is. See that second spot below? Right after my arrow, it forms. What's that second one doing? It's growing a little stronger too. This one up top up here. All right, that's a terrible. Let's see if we can get a way closer on this. What am I thinking? I got zoom. I need to watch this just for a second. Okay. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see probably a healthy development of that sunspot region right there, unfortunately. Okay. Let's get back to our article now. This potentially dangerous sunspot, the fastest growing active region, has a mixed polarity magnetic field that harbors energy for X-class solar flares now. Any such eruptions this weekend will be geoeffective as the sunspot is turning directly to face Earth. Okay? Everybody hold on tight this weekend. Keep your fingers crossed. Thank the Father on Father's Day. Don't forget about him on Father's Day, and maybe we won't get a big old X-class flare to the face. Okay, now this looks like water, doesn't it? Knock the lucent clouds in motion. As the summer solstice approaches, knock the lucent clouds, the NLCs are spreading across Europe. There's one surefire way to know when you've seen one. This electric blue ripples. Michael photographed them on June 14th in Martinsburg, Austria. Pretty trippy, huh? Watch it. Scroll down. It looks like water, huh? And then you see the trees down below, and you're like, what? The sky's doing that? Yeah, you should look up every once in a while. Get off your phone. Look up. Okay. Here we are over at your Schumann. You can see we've had a couple little quick pulses right there, just bink, bink, but they were short-lived, not very strong. So went back to kind of normal, little weakness here, little grinding, back to normal. So we're just clipping the core and the shell. Let's see if there's a spur that sticks out of the ball a little bit. It would clip something and scratch the inside of the ball, or the inside of the sphere, the inside of the shell a little bit. Or if there was any kind of, just a misshapen or anything, it could wobble and grind, just an occasional nick here and there, okay? Now, it's interesting, I know actually a bunch of you guys have heard how everybody's reporting on the core slowing down, right? All of a sudden now people are coming out and talking about the core of the Earth now and how it might be slowing down. That should not surprise anyone at this channel. Anyone. I have described how this works several times, and you guys can understand that when we absorb energy from the sun, the core swells, it heats up, it swells, it grows in size. The shell also heats up and swells and wants to grow in size, but it can only get so far because all the magma and all the pressure pushing down on it. So the only way it can expand is downward onto the core. And that would slow down the core, causing a weaker magnetic field, right? Right? I mean, we've only been talking about this for the longest time, and now they're finally catching on, okay? Let me just tell you guys something here. At this channel, you're some of the smartest people on the face of this planet, okay? Even these physicists and all these high IQ people do not have the knowledge you people do. They just don't. They just don't. But you do. And that makes you extremely intelligent, much more intelligent than these other people that are out there that are, well, deceiving people, and everybody's kind of like throwing all their weight behind these heavyweights or whatever they are. Anyways, it should not surprise you at all at this channel when they're talking about the core slowing down. They're wondering what's going on or how's it happening. Shoot, one of you guys could explain it to them. They won't listen to me, so. Anyways, there you go. There's your Schumann. We're plugging along, but we're clipping, and it's just like very, very close to starting to grind again. Where our pressure is, there. It's like right at the cusp. That gap between the two, that barrier between the two core and the shell. I should get a diagram and show you again. We'll get into that a little bit later. Anywho, we got to keep moving. Kind of good report. A little bit hit and miss here, but nothing too extreme. Pretty good continuity. So moving on. But we still have pressure. Not a bunch that's causing total grinding, but look at this again. What is going on? Wow. Look at this perfect round. Just take the wind. That just looks weird. Looks like a football helmet or something. It does. Okay, all right, enough. So here's your upper jet, okay? You see this huge stream coming in off the Pacific, getting bent and going way up into Canada now. Now your cocktail's being mixed way up here. All right, you got warm, moist air coming up here, mixing in with this cold air. Bam. So your cocktail's being made way up there, but that's your upper jet. Okay, so watch how it correlates with your lower jet now. Boom. Okay, similar configuration. Dense right here, coming up over into Canada and then coming back down across the Great Lakes. Now this is affecting the weather down below like this. It doesn't look like it matches, but there's slight correlations in there, okay? The upper air currents cause lower air currents to react in opposite ways sometimes. You see what I'm saying? They influence, well, directly and indirectly. So this is your down at our weather system level, okay? And we still have this flow coming up through off the Gulf of Mexico, going right up through the middle of the country and going way up into Canada. So Canada, watch out. You guys are getting moist air, hot, moist air, mixing with your cold air up there. This is going to be the new tornado alley. I hate to say it. I mean, it's starting to look that way. All right. Little disorganized out here. We had these two big organized storms that were out here the other day, and they have like fallen apart. All right. We still have this effect here. Stuff is just not coming on shore. It's running down the shoreline. Like there's some kind of, look, all this energy pointing right at it, right? But no, it bends, goes down the shoreline. A little bit trickling over. It's been like that for a while. It's just, makes you go, okay. So there's your weather patterns. Kind of, I want to see something else. What the heck? Don't tell me there's another one. This is kind of just odd how everything just kind of hits that spot and splits up. Might be other thunderheads, something in the region that are diverting wind patterns and stuff. This is all wind patterns. So. Any other places we need to look at? Okay. Excuse me. Let's get down to business here. Let's get to our chemicals. Wait, no. We got to do the particulates first. We're still at 850. Yes. Particulates. The sandstorm report real quick while we got this wind current going on. Okay. Huge, massive plume of sand on this whole side of Africa, blowing intense, dense plumes of sand and dust out into the Atlantic. All right. It's probably so dense out there on the Atlantic, you probably can't see much out there. Imagine being out on the ocean and not being able, it just being totally blind, surrounded by white. That would be weird. And now, look, it's starting to get its way into the Caribbean now. And you see our wind patterns? It's still kind of curling back this way, but look, see this peel off right here? We're about to get some sand in, or, some dust storms, some hazy skies with red sunsets, in this Gulf region. Okay. It's coming. You can see it coming. Whoops. All right, let me move over here. It's just kind of spread out all over this area. Still a little intense over there. Something growing here in Saudi Arabia. All right, so, and then also, it just shows up a little bit better. This is a different micron size, but we will still particulate, okay? It still shows our sand coming up into that region, or, dust. Silica is conducts electricity, okay? This sand is silica. It gets a static electric charge. It gets lighter than air type effect. Not necessarily lighter than air, but much lighter, and becomes airborne a lot easier. And with our increasing wind speeds worldwide, which we will continue to see, it's just going to kick up more and more sand, more and more particulates. All right. And these are other particulates besides our ash that's in the atmosphere as well. Okay. Now, back to our chemicals. We're going to do the SO2 report. Oh, we can take off the winds for that for a minute. Spin the world around and zoom in on our country here. As you can see, here's America. Country divided, bleeding out on one side, clearing up on the other. And no, like, flooding patches areas or anything like that to kind of clog up the ground and, keep this gas from venting. There's a good intense spot right above the Great Lakes here. Up here in Canada, some other, very, very intense plumes. Their plumes are... have a lot more density to them. Okay, just kind of looking around. Pick out your part of the country here if you want. But indication pressure still going. Still pushing a lot of this gas. Oh, excuse me, out of the ground. And these perforations, eventually they loosen up. They, water goes in them, and then the gas comes out, and water goes in them, and gas pushes it out. They loosen up the ground. You're going to have sinkholes. So, watch out in this region here. You might experience random sinkholes. Okay. Down here in South America. Oh, it's nice and dark all the way down South America. All the way down there. Even our fulcrum point is dark. See how it's usually just the one little pixel? It's the whole clump is pretty big and dark. This one's pretty good size and dark. All 5 of them are there. Our newer one right here, pretty strong. So even some of these spots up here are dark, like the fulcrum point one. Look at that. So a lot of SO2 coming out of this region. These might be a couple of new volcanoes running along this, or cracks or fissures in the ground, new perforations. Every day there's new perforations and cracks forming. Whether you see them on the surface or not, they're still forming. So all the way down the coast, nice and dark. See how dark each one of them is going down. So a lot of pressure is built up and a lot of venting going on here on the coast of South America. Let's get on over to this region and put them in their daytime. All right. And, right, they got a lot of gas coming out of their region as well. Dark spots, okay. They're going to have issues with sinkholes. They're having issues with tornadoes. That intro was the tornadoes hitting China. I don't know who they're messing with. I really don't. Here we go. Here's Taiwan, our little relief valve. You can almost see the fulcrum point. It's offshore, but you can see the gas emissions just missing from that fulcrum point area. All right, just above it is a little pinhole. So here we go, releasing SO2 here and down below, our little relief valve at Taiwan doing its job. Okay, and then also down here at Java, you can see Java here is just totally dark purple, right? A lot of gas coming out. See another indication of pressure down below. The darkness of these areas is your indication of pressure. I'm going to pull up this little color chart again, okay? This being, nothing all the way up to black being the most, all right? So we're seeing stuff in purple and, blue, the black areas and stuff like that. So Java doing a nice job of relieving, the pressure in that area, okay? Australia used to be free of this problem, but they got perforations in their plate as well. Okay, and gas is escaping through the perforations in the crust. India's got their issues. Okay, Saudi Arabia, boy, do they have issues. All of these countries are got SO2 coming out of the ground, and this is the gas that surrounds magma down below. It comes out so hot it can be on fire. It can make spontaneous combustion happen, and it can start fires from underground. And as the summer increases and pressure increases, you're going to see a bunch of these hot spots like this with fires at them. Okay, I've already showed you that before. I could pull some up, but I want to keep moving here. So let's get on over to the oceans now. This is the part where we're going to have to spend a little time here for a second now, okay? Say what? 613. Do I get 614? No. So I'll take, that's our latest data. All right. So, and that was as of the 13th. Okay. So it's a day behind still. But oh, what a relief to see this finally receding and calming down. Wow, that was getting pretty hectic there for a while. Just shifted position is all. I believe we have this little spot here, our new little pinhole or perforation in the crust has relieved pressure in the area. So thankfully for that little spot right there, I think has reduced a lot of the pressure. Now it's still spreading, it's still growing in size, but the yellowness, the bar that was there. Hello, Kathy. Welcome, sweetie. I'm glad you're here. Was this the yellow bar that was here? I'd much rather see it diminish like this, okay? Because that was getting a little intense. I believe it's because we have a new little spot right here. Now, let's get on over here. Japan, still, obviously some kind of vent on the floor, magma coming out of the ocean floor, creating, hot water in that region. All of this area, it actually looks like Tamumasi's right about, well, I mean this again, Lord. Yeah, right about here. So it's actually calmed down around Tamumasi as well. So that's good. Over here, our water temperature over by Taiwan. It used to be yellow until it started having earthquakes and being the fulcrum point that it is and relieving pressure in that area. Okay, and now it went from yellow all the way back down to red, and we have cold water inundation on the backside because there's a bunch of pressure gets released here. It doesn't have a chance to build up and then make the bottom of the ocean floor so hot, you know. So, or, create pressure so bad it creates a new perforation, like a popping a zit and, creating a new vent. Okay, so Taiwan doing its job. The Chinese should thank Taiwan for doing its job. Meanwhile, over here at Java, you can see we still have cold water inundation all along here. We have all these volcanoes on Java and through these Sunda Islands through here. Okay, so that's doing its job. It's the relief valve for that area. Meanwhile, we got some other spots that are, starting to grow in intensity around here. This spot off the African coast kind of diminished. It's still kind of, resurging a little bit through there, but we did see a diminishing in that hot pocket that was there, okay? We did see stuff shift up towards Africa, but now we're getting to our main concern here. This region between Africa and South America, where all of our hurricanes form. The warmer the water, the stronger the hurricanes. The warmer the water, the more we'll have, okay? And after last night's discovery of what we saw here, we're going to have to start addressing some subjects that are scary, all right? And I pray that I'm wrong, okay? But we're getting to a phase here that's getting, well, let's just see how these winds correlate. I want to see if that's at 850. Yes, it is. Good. Back to the ocean. Sorry, I just need the elevation of the winds. Ocean, SSTA. Take off the currents. Go back to the wind. There we go. Last night, there was a very direct correlation with the wind patterns and the heat plumes. These heat plumes are directing the air currents. Okay, I showed you over here at this hot spot how the heat rising in the water and water rushing in to replace the rising heat water creates a vortex. Okay, and now we've seen a correlation yesterday between the heat plumes and our vortex growing around the heat plumes out here. All right, so right about there is good. We're having flow that was correlating with this pattern of heat right here. It's not doing it so much today, but last night was perfect to the T. That was quite disturbing. And what we're seeing is a flow that's going up and coming around and coming back down like this, all right? We could start to see when all of this fills in with yellow and this whole area turns into super hot water. Okay, remember we got magma coming up through the mid-Atlantic ridge that's heating the water in this area. We could see a conveyor belt of hurricanes that, one after another come off of Africa. They go up through the conveyor belt. One hits, the second hits, and we could have up to like 7 or 8 or 9 hurricanes all positioned around the conveyor belt and just keep coming down and recycling because it will still be a hurricane when it comes over here. See all this hot water? It's still going to be a major hurricane. It's going to be like a tropical hurricane coming off of this hot water, going over here and hitting Europe and Spain, and then dropping down into, where hurricanes are made. As a hurricane dropping into where hurricanes are made, we're going to see like a conveyor belt of constant hurricanes for a while. I pray I'm wrong. I pray that these sandstorms kick up and cause so much dirt and sand that it diffuses the power of these hurricanes, okay? because that could be a very major contributing factor. The sand does kind of take the oomph out of the storm and keep it from, well, developing or being as powerful. Okay. Right now, I love this. This correlation is not as defined as last night's was, thankfully, because last night's was just, I don't ever want to see that again. But we could possibly entertain the conveyor belt, maybe even 1 to 2 big storms that just sit there the whole time. Okay, depends on how hot this water gets, how quickly. All right, because this is already, temperatures that we see at the end of summer, and we're still, 2 weeks into June. We haven't even hit summer yet. Okay, so what I need to do here now, and I'm sorry I have to do this, but we're going to go a little time lapse here so we can see the intensity growth. Okay. So I pull up the calendar. You can still see it over here on the side. Okay. This yellow bar right here, that's the intensity, the yellowness. I want to go back a month. That's May 12th. We're at June 13th. So that's about a month ago. I'm going to hit OK. Now watch the difference. Since May, it's changed from that to this within the course of a month. Okay? In the course of a month, it went from that to that. What's it going to do in the next month? This big yellow bar that we saw over on this side, we could very well entertain that over on this side as well. Okay? And we might see even worse. I pray I'm wrong. Everybody better start praying. And you know now that your prayer's working. Okay? You really can't pray this away. We can pray for the people in the region that they get the wisdom to, well, get out of there, stay alert, whatever. Now, what's happening here on the East Coast is we are seeing heat plumes growing underneath the East Coast right here. Long Island up here, Massachusetts, Connecticut, all the way up into Maine, the Bay of Maine up here. This is all hot water, not cold. It's supposed to be ice blue cold right now, not super hot. That's an indication they got some issues along their coastline. Okay, even the lakes are heating up. And when cold air moves over warm water, it creates its own lake effect convection. You guys have lake effect snow out there in the wintertime. You could see lake effect convection during the summertime because of your own body of hot water. Get that. Okay, right now there's cold water barrier kind of blocking the west coast, but out here at the Juan de Fuca, we got this pressure building. Okay, heat coming up out of there. So this region, this is the fuel for all this region is the fuel for hurricanes. But we've entertained stuff that just blossoms in this area as a tropical depression, comes into here and goes category 5 in one day. We could start seeing that too. The hotter this region gets, the worse it's gonna, the more conductive it's gonna be. Okay. We got La Nina kind of growing here. That's good. We could use some cold water inundation anywhere, but look down below here. You can see the southern hemisphere has this patch right here that's growing. Okay, there's vents on the ocean floor off of South America. There's vents on the ocean floor off of South Africa. These currents, well, let me get the currents. Hit the wrong one. Currents, right there. There we go. Pretty cool how hot water, when it rises, causes a vortex. It also causes cold water barriers. And you'll see hot water going into cold water, going into hot water, into cold, into hot. So it's not hot water from here that's spreading down the line. No, these are their own little hot spots on the ocean floor. Hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold. You're either hot or you're cold, or I'll spit you out. Okay, so there's your hot water anomaly surface temperature thing. Everybody in this whole region, on the coastlines in Europe, Africa, everybody from the equator on up, even up to Greenland, Iceland, that whole area, every coastline, I would be on high alert now. I would watch your weather like a hawk. Because the moment the first hurricane kicks up, it's probably going to be the beginning of a train of them. I pray to God I'm wrong, but as I watch this blossom and grow so quickly, so early, it's just very concerning. And we saw this grow quickly, but it diminished. So that looked like a runaway train, but it diminished. So the capability of this diminishing does exist because it happened here. Okay, as if the vents down on the ocean floor would stop pumping so much, magma out, it wouldn't be so hot there. If the sun wasn't hitting us with all this energy, we wouldn't have so much magma pushing up through the crust of the earth. If society would just listen and behave and do what they're told, well, we wouldn't have the sun spitting out all these flares at us now, would we? Yeah. It's funny because the weather is not man-caused. They're trying to get you, it's man-made global warming. No, well, almost. It's man's sins. So in a way, kind of. All right, let's get on over to our earthquake report here. And we'll just get our satellite going here. Turn that off. All right. Get all set. I was not set up for that one. All right. Let's get into our deep quake region. Doesn't look like we had. Oh, that's a 4.4 down at 520. Is that showing up on the screen? Oh, good. All right, so our deep quake's a little further south right here, mid-range 4. That's what we're used to seeing. We got a 4.2 at 139. It's not on the ridge, not producing, it didn't relieve a bunch of energy. It's another 4.2 down at 139. I showed you this little island venting SO2 that's relieving pressure in the area. Let's go real quick. I want to get that. Show you that again so you understand what I'm saying in case we got a couple new people here that haven't seen what I'm talking about yet. So we are, there. Okay, this little bar right here, this little island has the two plumes coming out of it. Volcanic vents that are relieving pressure in the area. They're like pinholes in the inner tube of a bike or in the skin of a balloon that relieve the pressure that's built up as it enters the system right there. So as pressure, we get our deep quake, it puts pressure at the upper areas. The pressure wants to relieve here at the very entrance to the system, but we got this doing it instead. So we haven't seen much quaking in this region because of these two vents right here. We also have volcanoes going all through this part of the system. It's been very quiet because of volcanic activity releasing pressure in the area. Let's go into this little pit. Sometimes we get deep quakes in here. We got a 4.3 at the surface, relieving energy right. Well, that's not even at the boundary. This is, I want to see what's going on here. Okay, just offshore, right in that weak zone. Okay, so it is relieving pressure at the surface. It's a weak zone quake, surface quake, not on a plate boundary, but in a weak zone. Water inundates right up to the land, almost like at the beach. It gets all soft and gooey under your feet, and it shifts really easily because of water inundation into the actual sand. 4.1 at a depth of 10 here. More energy being scrubbed at the surface. We have 4.5 down at 20 right here. Yeah, looks like more energy just being scrubbed at the surface, just a tad bit deeper there. Then these are all our volcanic archipelago right through here, relieving pressure. There is so much pressure in this region that the volcanoes aren't enough. We're having quake activity in this region as well, relieving pressure at the surface, just like a volcano does. Here we go, just off of Sumatra here, a 4.9 down at 30. What do we do with the 4.9s here? Okay, we got a 5 down at the depth 30 right there, right off of the sun to straight. Okay, Krakatau's right here. It's going off. It's currently erupting. All these volcanoes around this region are always, currently erupting, and there's so much pressure that even though we have most of our, volcano activity, we're still seeing quakes pretty shallow. These aren't deep quakes. That's the deepest at 30, 20, 10. Okay, relieving energy in that area because of pressure buildup. Look, nothing through this area. No fulcrum point quake here in a while. Out in this lake region, we have a 4.6 at the surface. Weak crustal area right here. Okay, because of the lake regions, it's all perforated. See perforations? Well, water inundates down into there as well, makes this area weaker. You see the floor. This is the Gobi Desert. It's the floor of an old body of water. The water on top pushes down so hard on the floor of the body of water. The pressures are so intense that it compacts this really tight. All right, so this dirt out here is super compacted, almost like cement, right? It's super tight. So we don't see many quakes in that pit, all right? That's where our sandstorm's coming from. The wind's blowing through there, kicking up all the loose sand particles on the top, creating sandstorms in that region. We do have fulcrum point quake. These are a little deeper over here in Tajikistan, but that's a 4.2 down to 187. And what do we have here? That's plate boundary quake. It's even though it's just right off the crack, this 4.4 down a depth of 10 right here. This is a boundary quake. I want you guys to look at this mountain feature right here. Okay, you see this line as it comes down? There's a drastic difference in material and structure right along that seam, right? That's a seam. You see how that seam kind of crosses over right here? There's a weak spot right there along this seam. Can you see it get ripped and go across? Bam, it crosses over to this side, and there's your weak spot. A surface quake. That's its own little kind of fault type. It's not a fault like we would define in geology, but it has its own fault-like characteristics that distribute energy very similar to a fault would. It is right here on the plate boundary. This is like the crack off of a crack. This is a big crack in your windshield, and it splits and goes another crack, another avenue. And you see how, boom, there's so much pressure in this area that came and pushed this way and built up all these mountains. Pressure came the opposite way. So a lot of torque, a lot of twisting torque energy in that area. See it going like that? This is pushing down, that's pushing up, and it's twisting that whole area. That torque energy in there creates hairline fractures. As we go up here, look how it kind of splits off. Another one splits off. Another one comes, splits off. So it's very, this kind of, this structure with the material change makes for weak spots, little fracture zones, micro fracture zones. Okay. Interesting. We're gonna have to watch this area because that's a sign of weakness, or a path of least resistance. And for the people in India, that would be probably a major spot right around there for them. So we'll watch that. Nothing in this region. We need more energy release in that region, or it's just gonna be something. Mount Vesuvius also is another one that we might have to start watching soon. Meanwhile, here we go on our plate boundary 5.9, 6, 5.4, 5.3, all surface quakes, all boundary quakes. A lot of energy just got released right out here. That's good. That's good. Because remember, we have that yellow bar growing in here. Any kind of release of pressure along this fracture zone would help. Recahenus going off with a huge curtain, shooting lava way up there, does no. It's maybe a little bit to the island there, but it doesn't affect the rest of the world so drastically. We need some good vents. So that's good. Finally, we're seeing a fair distribution of pressure, or release of pressure on the mid-Atlantic ridge. That's good to see, but it's going to be getting worse if we don't continue to release pressure. All right, finish off South America. Fulcrum Point quake 4.5 down at 191. They're always deeper because this is all rock. 4.7 down at 28. And I think that covers it. Now we're going to get into America here. Let me get all magnitudes. And is Kathy still here? Because I'm going to start with Hawaii first, just for her. Okay, here we go. To the Big Island, where a lot of our activity has been happening. We are seeing some quakes forming. 2.2s, that's our regular kind of activity. But what's going on now is we're seeing offshore activity with 2.3s. That's little ones. But look at this. This little flurry right here on the ocean floor, that's the latest one at 2.4. That's a 4.1 right there. You still with us, Kathy? Where'd she go? 4.1 down at 36. That's a healthy quake for this region. So Hawaii had a 4.1 today. Bunch of microquaking. Well, not even microquaking. These are some 2s. That one's a 2.3. Yeah, that was the 4.1, 2.5. A bunch of mid-range 2s. Okay, good. It's relieving energy in the area. This is also an indicator the seamount out here might be coming to life. Okay. You saw this activity, pressure built up in this region, and the volcano itself is plugged up, and all the pressure built up, and we saw a bunch of microquaking. As pressure builds, it microquakes out because the volcano wouldn't erupt. So much pressure built up that it tore a fissure. A fissure actually tore and opened up, and fountains, a curtain of fountains, much like Recahenus happened here on Hawaii, relieving pressure. Now we're starting to see a new weak spot growing off the coast of Hawaii. All right, let me kind of back out. You see the island chain formation, how it came this direction, right? It's kind of curving, going this way. Well, that would be the next island, would be right here, or this little seamount. And we're starting to see offshore activity. You might even see a little underwater explosion, you know, some smoke come up out of the water there off the Hawaii. So Hawaii quaking out and current activity. That's the hub of the wheel. You know, you think of the Pacific Rim as a bicycle rim. Well, a bicycle rim has a hub right in the center, and this would be the hub of the wheel. So pressure, you know, goes all the way around the fracture zones where your path of least resistance, and then also directly in the center where you got your perforation in the crust. Okay, very, very quiet all through Japan, all up the Kanchakna. What was that real quick? 4.3 off Japan. All right, okay. All right, back to America. So energy coming in, goes up into Alaska. I saw something way up here. Yeah. 4.2 in Inuvik, Canada. And that's a down at a depth of 9. They had a tsunami alert for that one. Probably a little bit bigger than a 4.2. But way up here, this is a diverse quake. Okay. There's not a lot of fault lines and stuff going on up there. What is going on up at Alaska, though, is heat coming out around the shorelines of Alaska. Let's go really quick to show you that. Look up here. Here we are off the coast of Alaska, and these bays up here, it's heating up all along the coast. All right, so pressure is building. There's a weak spot in the crust or whatever under Alaska, or you probably a lot of energy gets vented in that area or whatever. We have our new little perforation right there, relieving pressure, but that area is heating up and pressure building, and we could be seeing quakes around, you know, odd quakes around Alaska, like this one. Okay. Now, as energy comes up, hits the pinnacle, the fulcrum point, apex of the fulcrum point. There's 2 energy there. What's on the inside of the fulcrum? 2 as well. So we got matching 2 magnitude energy entering fulcrum point, 2.1. This area can diminish energy a little bit with its little microquakes. Yeah, just a bunch of 1s there. Then it comes on down into the Juan de Fuca. If it doesn't fire off on these fracture zones, sometimes it can go inland. There's little 1.8s right here on this area of BC. Just be aware, you people in British Columbia, along your coastline here, you're very susceptible to earthquakes as well. It's not just this Juan de Fuca fracture zone. Your boundary, your weak spot along the coastline is susceptible as well. We got activity kind of inland here, the Puget Sound, just microquakes. Nothing at Rainier today, but activity at St. Helens today. Just micro stuff, ones and little tiny ones, but that shows down underneath, magma moving around, rumbling around. There's another spot right there. That was there the other day too, another little weak spot. I'm kind of just looking around to new weak spots because when in the future, when pressure rises again, we're all going to wonder where's the next big one going to happen. Well, in order to predict a big one, you have to know where a good weak spot is, right? So when pressure builds, we'll be able to kind of look at weak spots along the way as potential sites in the future. Okay. What's that one too? No, okay. All right. Ooh, there's one off the 2.9 here. Why? Where did that come from? Okay. We have a 2.9 boundary quake, relieving energy at the surface. We had that 2 energy come over the top of the fulcrum, start heading down. I was going to say anything from 2 to lower. And look at this, it produced a 2.9. And we even got stuff at the fulcrum point here, 2.3 and 2.2. That's your energy that came down being distributed well, perfectly. Our geysers here just going to town. See, it's relieving energy in this area perfectly. We'd like to see a bunch of little microquakes instead of one big one. The position of this, excuse me, just above the bay, with energy coming in like this is another relief valve that diminishes the energy before it hits the Bay Area, thankfully. But here we are in this Hayward Fault zone with activity again, all right? It's not big activity, but it is an indicator that we have movement around in this area. 2.1, that's shallow at 8. Okay. Okay, you can see they're just small quakes, but they're all on these faults that run parallel with the main San Andreas fault. You got pressure ridges that grow when these two push together. They grow inland, they grow right on the fault, they grow on the other side of the fault. These like pressure ridges from two plates pushing on each other. Going on down, nice little microquaking. What's this? 2.4. Okay, looking good, looking good. Lots of little microquaking through there. Perfect. All right, so the system right through there doing its job, microquaking out. Any energy that comes in, bing, bing, bing. We got 3 little spots right here that will, diminish it. And if those don't take care of it, we got the geysers that take on a bunch of it too. Also over here, we're getting activity a little further into the continent here. 2.3 here in Utah. And up here, they've had this. They've had activity up there before. Soda Springs. Okay, so all along these Rockies here, starting to see activity too. Of course, we have our situation there in Texas and Oklahoma. Nothing around the New Madrid today. That's good. No little weakness up by New York or anywhere along there. That's good. Okay. This little region still just small 3s, really. Their activities jumped from like a bunch of 2s. It used to be 2s and just, really boring stuff. We're starting to see a little jump in magnitude out here with their 3s. We did all that. I think that it covers the map. Yep. All right. There's your earthquake report. Let's get on into the volcano report. Let me take down that one, that one, that one. Let's pull up volcano page, please. Lord, let it work. $32 currently erupting. Oh, can you see that? 32 erupting and 27 in warning. 59. 32, 27 is 59. We have almost 60 active volcanoes. There's 26 that are in unrest. So if we want to tack that in there too, all those total are at unrest at least. Okay, so a lot of volcanic activity. The whole volcanic system is just kind of coming to light. Really, we can get maybe later. We'll get you. All right, here we are, Tuesday, June 15th. Popocatépetl. We'll get all through those. Ebu. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. 110,000 feet. Pretty good. Louis Toby, 10,000 feet. Sorry, that's 11,000 feet. This is 10,000 feet. Semeru, 15. Yep, 15. Popocatépetl, probably pretty good. Sporadic ash emissions. Okay, good. It's not a big old blast. That's the one to be concerned in Mexico because it's right next to Mexico City. Reventador, 15,000 feet. That's a decent blast. Sabancaya, 25,000. And that was just going into today so far. Let's look at today, which was now yesterday. Ibu, 13,000. Luatobi, 10,000. Semeru, 15,000. Ducono, 8,000. Welcome back here, Popo. Here we go. 19,000 out of Popocatépetl today. All right, so that's okay. That's another good blue, another high plume, explosive plume out of that. I was just reading that really quick. Fuego again, 15,000 feet. Reventador, 15,000. These are higher blasts. Sabancaya, 25,000. Here's your lists. These lists are getting longer and longer. They're not getting shorter and shorter. Currently erupting. All right, that means they're currently erupting. Barren Island, Bissamani. Just because they didn't make it on the list with a big, huge blast or an altitude, this still has lava, still has ash emission, still has pressure. It's still a perforation in the crust that's relieving pressure. Barren Island, Bissamani. I'm just going to kind of scroll down. I'll let you read off all these to yourself if you want. One's on this side. I'm going to point out Canelone is a little new. Watch that one. Concepcion is new. Watch it. Cotopaxi, semi-new. It's an older one that reactivated. Dempo is new. Watch that one. Here's Etna in Italy. Italy is going to have some issues in the future here. They need Etna to start becoming more active, to start venting the pressure in that region. We do have, oh, come on, what's the other one that's in the area? Help me, Lord. We'll get there. We do have the other volcano in Italy that's erupting, but it's Stromboli, but it's not enough. Gamalama, Great Sitkan Islands. Here's a new one, Carency. Okay, one to watch. Merapi on Java is the other volcano that does a lot of venting on the island of Java. We're always talking about Semeru, but Merapi does a lot of work too. Ones to watch, Nevada del Ruiz. It's always having 22,000 foot blast. Okay. Purace is kind of new. We got Rayung and Ruang, R-U-Ang and R-A-Uung. This one's on the island of Java. Okay, so watch that one because Java is our release valve. It could possibly be hopping over when we get an increase in pressure. San Cristobal's semi-new. Okay. And all these are currently erupting. So we got a lot of pressure and a lot of perforations in the crust, venting pressure. And when pressure builds up, usually one of these will hop over and become active. And lately, it's been a new one, something that one that we haven't heard of coming to life, and going active and jumping on the list. So the list just keeps growing and growing. They keep going active and getting more and more active. Here's Krakatoa, currently erupting in the Sunda Strait. Okay, Luatobi that we always look at, Luatolo are always there. Marapi on the Sumatra, Merapi in Java, and don't forget we have one down in Antarctica too. Oh, excuse me. Had a long day out in the sun. Today was graduation day. Any parents out there, your kids graduate today? Mine did. So I got to go. Graduation ceremony. My son and his girlfriend both graduated. So proud. Proud papa moments when your family does well. Okay. Oh, this isn't loaded up. Let's get all those loaded up first. Wow. Can't see those ones. Not yet. Thank you very much. Last year, my oldest graduated, and this year, my youngest graduated. So, mission complete. Now they can go be men in the world. And this world needs some men. I'll tell you that much, because what I seen, it just not cutting it. Okay, let me just crack my neck a sec. All right, here we go. Current conditions. The nighttime of June 14th, severe weather in the midsection of the country here. Okay, we're going to start clicking away. Here's Nebraska at the morning time. Severe weather still residual around the central plains there tomorrow morning. There's noon, convection, nighttime. Convection popping up through this area. All right, so you're going to start to see severe weather by convection all through here, and then it gets very severe at night. Also back up here into Canada and North Dakota. This drips down into Iowa, and this don't lose sight of this. See that little yellow dot? That whole area could be that yellow dot. So it's hard to tell these days. There is a new player in the weather. So that'll be the nighttime tomorrow, going into the morning of the 16th. Minnesota, Wisconsin, watch out. Noon, convection, nighttime. That will be our clear day, really, for the whole country. Morning of the 17th, you see this plume right here, moisture. You see this down here. Look at these lines, how it's all going to come together. There's the morning, noon. By noon, this is 11 Pacific, 12, 1, basically for this time zone. 1 in the afternoon, you're going to have severe weather coming off the Gulf, coming onshore into the Gulf Coast region, bringing possible water spouts on land. You might have severe weather. We're always talking large hail now. We're always talking flash flooding now. When you see yellow on there, start thinking large hail and flash flooding. And not just talking about tornadoes. Some of the hail has been traveling 40, 50 mile an hour sideways and pelting the side of houses, so doing damage too. As well as up here. Don't let that escape. And you guys are in Idaho and Montana, you're going to have a blizzard, okay? In the middle of June. That's the noontime, the 17th. Then we go convection. Now, if it's like this by noon, I have a feeling convection could be a little more intense than that. I pray I'm wrong. That would be fine right there. I don't want it any more intense than this, but you've seen how hot this water's getting, okay? This thing is spinning up. It's spinning this way, drawing stuff up from there, so... Morning, noon, convection, nighttime of the 17th. Morning of the 18th. Look at this up here in the morning time, you guys, of the 18th. That's just around the corner. This is probably going to, we're still kind of within accuracy here now. This will be the noontime, the 18th. You see what's heading towards Texas. Convection, nighttime. Whoa. Whew. Noon, convection, nighttime of the 18th, you guys. All right, watch out there. Morning of the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime. 21, noon, convection, nighttime. 22, noon, convection. Come on, convection. What is it? Skippy with me? Uh-oh. When you're ready. Okay, we're at convection of the 22nd. Nighttime. Let's redo the 22nd. That's 22. That's the morning of the 22nd. Noon. Convection. Nighttime. On the 22nd, you guys are going to have this thing just march right on in here and make landfall at nighttime on the 22nd here. That's the morning of the 23rd. Noon. Look out, Louisiana. Convection. Nighttime. This whole time been raining over Florida too, so you guys in Florida, I don't know what to say there. Get out of there. 24th, noon, convection, nighttime. The convection over Ohio right here, I'd watch out for, even back up in there. These are more horizontally tilted troughs. Okay, so they can behave a little differently. You see their motion, how they come from the north and kind of drop in south like that. So that'll be a nighttime convection type thing. There's noon. It's already severe. It blossoms at convection and then kind of scatters at night. Gains strength in the morning right there of the 25th, noon, convection, nighttime, and it's offshore. All right, morning of the 26th, noon, convection, nighttime, 27, noon, convection, nighttime, and the rest of this is so far out in advance that we will just be wasting time talking about it. Okay, so there is your solar, your astrophysics, your geophysics, your volcanoes, your earthquakes. And now it's time for the spiritual report, okay? A lot of this stuff is very disturbing, okay? And even the spiritual realm stuff is disturbing as well, okay? So we need to take a break from all that, right? And unwind. And I got some good notes. I got some good stuff for you guys tonight. Did you have fun last night? Everybody have fun looking at my ugly mug? All right, so we can get rid of that. Wait. Let's stay on this one so we can get rid of that one. Try to clear out my computer a little bit so we can start pulling up some images and start doing some reading. I'm pulling stuff up. Oh, that one's no longer there. It's the video. Yeah, we can do the video real quick. Go over to James LaFleur's channel. He does a great job. That Impossible channel. I think he's got a second channel going, whatever. He does a good job. Oh, for the love of God. Thank you, Lord. Yeah. All right. Get a little volume going here. I can get a better picture on the movie like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something? All right, here we go. There it is. Look at that. Yep, there it is. There it is. What is that? That's my favorite. There it is. It is. Okay, whoops. There was just a video. Let's just pull up the image real quick. I showed you last night. I was telling you I recognized my face there, and I showed you my face. And you guys can be the judge whether you might tell us that this is, whether you think it looks like me or not. Still doesn't change the fact that it's me. So I showed you my face last night. You guys got to see that's me. I'll pull up some other images too. What do we need to work on tonight, Lord? I got that pulled up already, so get this one pulled up here. I would have all this stuff preloaded, but my poor little laptop would just hate me. And it wouldn't produce a show. So just kind of do round 2 here. Gives you guys a minute to get up, get a cigarette, or go have a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever, while I get set up here. Yeah, Brian's face again. You better just start getting used to my face. Okay? That's what this whole thing is about. You guys getting used to me. I already know you. But you guys are going to get to know me now. Okay? So we got that. This is an event that happened over my head on Easter. These faces follow me everywhere I go. Since I was a young kid, I've had UFOs follow me my whole life. All right. So I always knew UFOs were real. Everybody else thinks, oh, I've never seen one. Well, wait until you do. Okay. It will change your life, let alone being plagued with them your whole life. So I've always known that the paranormal was real. All right. But I also have these faces in the clouds that watch me, follow me, and study me everywhere I go, okay? And all of a sudden, these faces started to change into my face. And what we're going to do here with that video, I'm going to do my channel here. I'm going to show you a little bit more what happened here. Okay, this all started happening to me right before the Revelation 12 star alignment. September 10th of 2017, my life turned inside out, upside down, backward, forward. Pain, physical, emotional, and spiritual pain, all three at the same time. Just way beyond anything that you could really imagine going through. So, and what was weird is that, well, I'm the kind of guy that likes to document things, and a lot of people didn't believe me when I was going through this process. So I documented it. So now instead of telling you, I have to show you. Okay, so here we are at this video. Here's Jesus pulling open his shirt. His heart's exposing this face in the clouds, right? Well, these faces in the clouds have now changed into my face with the crown. You can barely see it. It's kind of in the etherical up here. There's this crown. And I'm like, what is my face doing in the clouds? Well, all of a sudden it's being projected by Jesus' heart. Because his heart is my face. I'm the face of him. Kind of. Understand? And let's just kind of pluck away this video real quick, and we can let this do a little speaking for itself. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So, snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds, what looked like a face over here. And I'm going to start zooming in on this face because it's a real face. And if you look back behind it here, let's zoom in just a little bit. You'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see it radiating out. Here's Jesus's face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out this image in the sky. Okay. And this has been a progression towards this, to this point. This image. All right, here we go. So I have all these faces in the clouds that form and watch me and follow me and study my every move. At first it was very disturbing and scary, but then I got used to it. And as more was revealed to me, I understood why this was happening to me. Okay. And just kind of pulling up some images that we like to read to. So there's that one. And we got this one. This is this happened on Easter. Okay. So this is a bunch of pictures stacked on top of each other in a flip book. This isn't Photoshop. This isn't any kind of morphing technology, that I can go back here and I can show you every single frame of these pictures that I took. Okay. And we don't have time to do that. We're just going to stick with this. Most of the regulars are here. Okay. So we're just getting set up for our images here. And go ahead. We got that one, our 3 regular ones. And that's probably pretty good. You guys want to see more? Or you guys got any questions before we start reading? Or shall I just continue? If we could open up a video, you want to see Mary, you want to see angels, you want other things that will help you trust me more. I can show you all kinds of stuff, all right? And this has been quite an ordeal going through this. And the craziest thing is I have all this evidence. I have a whole channel full of evidence, and yet no one believes me. Now, how would you feel if all this crazy stuff started happening to you and you documented it and no one believed you? Kind of like Jesus, almost. I could relate to what he went through because, well, I'm going through the same thing. I got real stuff, real paranormal stuff, excruciatingly painful happening to me, and no one believes me. Kind of runs parallel. Dang, the whole thing runs parallel. Uh-oh. And now, here we are. We got this wonderful little family. And you guys are truly my family. If you're still here at this point, we're down to the 20. There we go. All right. Get ready. Here we go. Everybody take your deep breath. Get in position. Do your things. Okay. Let's see. Is that the one for this? I want you to think about this. When you look at that heart right there, okay, the Father loves you, all right? This is about love. I have engraved you on the palms of my hands, and this is an eternal commitment. I'm a commitment kind of guy, all right? My commitment ain't just no regular, it's eternal. Okay, you should feel secure knowing you have an eternal commitment. Okay, nothing could ever scrape off or corrode this inscription on my palms, for you are my treasured, blood-bought possession. Engraving on precious metals is a practice that is meant to be permanent. However, the etching may wear off over the years, and sometimes these objects are lost or stolen or melted down. So, put first things first. Precious metals like gold and silver have some value in the world, but they are as worthless as rubbish compared to the surpassing greatness of knowing me forever. You found me, you get to know me forever, and gold and silver are rubbish compared to finding me. Since you are written on the palms of my hands, you can be assured that you are always visible to me. People sometimes jot notes on their palms to remind themselves of something important. I have engraved you on my palms. I didn't just jot your name down. You are engraved on my palms because you are eternally precious to me. Eternally precious. Again, the word precious. I have engraved you on my palms because you are eternally precious to me. Rejoice in the wonder of knowing that I, the King of the universe, consider you a priceless treasure. Whoa, did you know that? Did you know that that dude right there considers you, even in replay, a priceless treasure? You're giving me a moment of your time. You're finally putting some trust in me. You're practicing these things and you're finding the truth. Okay? I have engraved you on the palms of my hands, and you are eternally precious to me. You guys mess up all the time, and I love it. I love it. We fall short. I love it. You guys are awesome. You get up and keep trying. You just keep going. You're awesome. Okay. When you understand what's going on here, you can rejoice in the wonder of knowing that I am the King of the universe. In the spiritual realm, I run the show. Okay, this is the physical realm. But in this area, you're going to be chilling with me for eternity. All right. Let's see. What else do I have for you? Okay, even when we see these images, even when you know I am here talking to you, during the course of the day, stuff comes up and your spirit grows faint. Okay? And we all, it's the battle. It's trying to recover that, things get you down, situations, people, all sorts of stuff attacks your spirit, and your spirit starts to kind of grow faint. You can feel it inside. You're getting worn down and weary. So when your spirit grows faint within you, it is I who know your way. This is one of the benefits of weakness. It highlights the fact that you cannot find your way without help from me. And if you are feeling weary or confused, you can choose to look away from those feelings and turn wholeheartedly toward me. You can. You can choose to look away from those feelings. Okay? That's what you're going to have to start doing. Because if you're feeling weary and confused, you don't have time for that. You're going to have to choose to look away from those feelings. All right? And when that happens, when you have to look away from those feelings, there's me. I'm over there. Turn wholeheartedly to me. Okay? I'm preparing you for this. So, when you're feeling weary or confused, realize you can choose to look away from those feelings and turn your attention wholeheartedly to me. That takes your mind off the situation, puts it in my hands, okay? You don't have control. I do. So, relinquish control. Turn wholeheartedly to me, and then try this. Try pouring out your heart freely, and then rest in the presence of the one who knows you perfectly. I know you. I know your way. I am the one who knows your way perfectly, all the way to heaven. You're on your way to heaven. I know your way perfectly. So rest in my presence. Pour out your heart freely and rest in the presence of the one who knows your way perfectly. Okay. We were talking about the chore of praying. Okay. The other day I'm living life. Okay. There's issues, there's people, there's circumstances, right? And I catch myself venting and yelling, right? Did you know that you can pray that way? Right before you start your rant, say, Lord or Jesus, please help me, and then lay in with your rant. Give it to me. Give me your emotions. Stop playing games with your prayers and tiptoeing lightly. We are doing spiritual work here. It does not work unless you lay out your issues wholeheartedly. You can drop F-bombs. You can drop all those cuss words. Get them out. As long as you do it in the form of a prayer, venting is venting. But if you say, Jesus, these people are, I can't stand this, blah, 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 then you are successfully praying. We're making progress. How are you going to be sad if you don't cry? You can't just, you got to pour out your heart freely, because when you do that, you finally get to rest in the presence of the one who knows your way. I know your way. You don't know mine, but I know yours. I know your way perfectly. Okay? So rest in the presence of the one who knows your way perfectly. Okay? It's going to be this continued practice. Continue this practice of gazing at me even during the times when you're feeling strong and confident. Okay? Usually it's when you're weak and you're having issues that you finally call out and you're, God, help me, please, finally. All right? Well, you can still call out when times are good and you're feeling confident. I had the arrow going to the next one. The practice, yeah. The practice of gazing at me, all right? That it doesn't mean just sitting there staring blankly. The practice of gazing at me is understanding that the prophecy came true. Prophecy came true. I'm here. Told you I'd be back. Everybody wanted to see the signs. What are the signs of your return? Your return? Your return. Not your coming, your return. Well, there you'd see this and you'd see that when I'm back. When I'm back, you would see this and you'd see that. You know I'm coming when you see this. Okay? And like a thief in the night, I'm back already. Everybody's still looking around going, when's he going to return? Psh, been here for 6 years and no one's even figured it out yet. That's how sneaky. Everybody's still looking up for the rapture. You guys are raptured right now. Did you know that? Did you know that you are caught up in this moment? Like caught up in a song, caught up in a good book, caught up in a movie or whatever. You're enthralled, you're enthusiastic, everything else is kind of non-existent. You're in this at the moment. You're caught up in the moment, caught up in the song. This is me in the clouds, and you are caught up with me in the clouds. Because that's what it says. You will be caught up with me in the clouds. But everybody thinks of levitation and they read it as you will be caught up with me in the clouds. No, you will be caught up with me in the clouds. This is me in the clouds and you're caught up with it. Okay, it's not levitation lifting up into the air. But it's the same. You are technically, well, there is no word rapture in the book. So a lot of people are going to be in for a big disappointment because they keep counting on a word that is not in there. They need to understand what that term caught up means. And it's kind of odd to me. For eons, people were wondering, what does that term caught up mean? Caught up. What exactly does that mean? What does caught up mean? Are you kidding me? You guys have never been caught up in a song or a book or a movie? You've never been caught up or interested in anything? I mean, you could have looked it up in the dictionary. You could have, it's pretty simple, but no, everybody got to reach and try to define it their way. Oh, caught up means you're going to be turning into this white little ball and lifted up. No, actually, you'll be a human body levitated up into the cloud. What? That's not what it says. So there will be some disappointments, but not for you guys, because you technically are raptured. You are here with me in the air of cyberspace. Aren't you? So Continue this practice of gazing at me, even when you're feeling strong and confident. In fact, this is when you are most at risk of going in the wrong direction. When you are feeling strong and confident is when you're most at risk. Did you know that? Because you better learn that the second you starting to feel strong and confident, whoa, hold on, uh you're getting too comfortable, all right? And this is a very, very intense world. Okay, so the practice of gazing at me during times when you're feeling strong and confident. Sometimes that's when you're at most risk of going in the wrong direction. Okay, so instead of assuming that you know the next step of your journey, train yourself to make your plans in my presence, asking me to guide you. It's really, really easy. It sounds like, what is he talking about? So instead of assuming that you know the next step of your journey, like tomorrow, what your plans are, right? Train yourself when you're making your plans. Make your plans in my presence, asking me to guide you. So, Lord, we got a lot to do tomorrow. I pray that you will guide me tomorrow. Help me decide in which order I should do things, and then go to sleep on it. And then the next day you'll wake up and you're going to be like, okay, we're doing this, that, this, that. The day was planned out. You took that moment to make your plans in my presence. You asked me, you showed trust. All of a sudden, you get your plans. Try it. Give it a try. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And when it happens, recognize it and say thank you, and the door will swing even wider open. If you continue the practice of gazing at me, that's more than just looking, that's understanding I'm here, practicing. Your belief is now in knowing. I have completed your belief. You now know. So when gazing at me, no. You have a foundation. This is not, your faith is super strong now. It's been taken to the to the point of knowing now. And you continue this practice of gazing at me even in your strong and confident times. Don't assume that you know the next step of your journey. I am training you to train yourself to make your plans in my presence. Ask me to guide you. Remember that my ways and my thoughts are higher than yours. Okay, so that's why ask me and listen for the small inner voice inside. Okay, your little voice inside your head. Listen for that small voice inside your head. You may even hear my voice since you're so used to hearing it by now. So listen to that small voice in your head. Ask me when you're making your plans. Ask me to guide you in your plans. You can ask the night before, hey, I'm considering doing this journey. I'm considering doing these plans. I want to do this and that and that and this, and I'm not sure what to do. Ask me to guide you. Go to sleep on it. Sleep on it. The next day, you'll have your plans. Because my ways are higher than your ways. My thoughts are higher than yours, as the heavens are higher than the earth. Let this remembrance draw you into worshiping me, the high and lofty one who inhabits eternity and who reaches down to help you. Okay? I inhabit eternity. I will always be and continue to be, always have been, and we're just going to keep doing this until you figure it out. And you guys are already there. Most of you that are here have figured it out. Should rejoice. I mean, when I found out, I was like, oh no. Oh, wow. So we come to this point now. I got this one. This is more than just notes. This is like we've come to a point now. Okay, we're like at a chapter. We're turning a page. We've come to a point. You've trusted me. You see me. You understand. I am the Lord, your God, who takes hold of your right hand and says to you, do not fear. Do not fear. I will help you. Don't fear, you've got me. I will help you. It's essential for you to recognize and believe that I am not only your Savior, I am also your God. Many people try to cast me as a great human model, a martyr who sacrificed everything for others. But if I were only human, you would still be dead in your sins. The one who takes hold of your right hand and calms your fears is the living God. I am alive and here as a man, and that should calm your fears. Right now, I am taking hold of your right hand. Calm down. I am your living God. How else are you supposed to meet me face to face? How am I to be real? How could you be any more real than being a person among you, right? Wouldn't that make me real if I was walking right next to you and put my arm around you and said, hey, how you doing, Joe? And you go, how'd you know my name? Well, I know everything about you, bud. You're my son. I raised you. And a lot of people try to cast me as this great human model. I'm more than that, okay? If only humans would be, if only humans could just like put their ego aside for just one moment and accept the gift. Did you know what ego is? You know, it's edging God out. That's saying that you're more important. Ego, edging God out. Ugh. Now, the one who takes hold of your right hand and calms your fears is the living God. Rejoice as you ponder this astonishing truth. Delight in the mysterious wonder of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Spirit, all in one. Okay, that also includes evil. Okay, God is everything, knowing good and evil. Much like you're a little God. You know good from evil, don't you? Or do you? Because a lot of people are sucked into the mainstream media and they think they're good. But boy, do they worship evil, and they just spoon feed it out and the people gobble it up like it's it's a dog returning to its vomit, really is what it is. So anyways, you guys get to delight in the mysterious wonder now. Father, Son, Spirit, all in one. Take time and wait in my presence. It's cool hanging out here, isn't it? You're with me now. These few minutes, these few hours that we get together are priceless. Enjoy this time. Take that time and wait in my presence. Tell me your troubles. Pour out your heart before me. Again, when I say pour out your heart before me, right before you lay into that tirade or that rant, start with Jesus help me. These people are going to drive me crazy. Okay, that's how you do it. And then it becomes a prayer. And then it becomes heard. It's not just you ranting and complaining. It just turned into a prayer, a heartfelt prayer. That's what the heartfelt prayers are. Yeah. It's when you're upset and you are ballistic and you're screaming. You're screaming at me. You didn't like what I did. You're mad at me. That's what you're screaming at. Did you know that? And I'm just sitting there going, okay, you could have just asked me to help, and I would have just been like, okay. So next time you're getting frustrated and you're screaming, and trust me, we all do it, okay? I don't beat around the bush. We're about brutal, real honesty here, okay? So we all snap sometimes and we yell, okay? Next time, try starting it off with Jesus help me. I'm these people, whatever it is. And then it turns into that heartfelt prayer. I really feel I can really relate. Did you know I can really relate? That's what you're looking for, is the person who can relate? Well, I can. I've been through everything. Name it, I can relate. I am your doctor. I'm your mental health. Okay? My presence is your mental health, not unhealth now. You are actually coming around now and becoming mentally healthy. You have put away that shit in the world. I'm going to say words like that because that's what it is. It's excrement from a dog. And they keep force feeding you these turds. And you guys just keep gobbling it up and you're breaking free from it. Okay? I'm the one that helps you break free from that. Rejoice and ponder this astonishing truth. Delight in the mysterious wonder. Take time. Wait in my presence. Pour out your heart before me. Don't be afraid. I am here and I am ready to help you. I don't condemn you for your fears, but I do want you to displace them with hope and trust in me. Okay? When you displace them, that's what I was telling you when you're screaming, when you're losing your shit. Lord, help me, I'm losing my shit. These people pull out in front of me. I can't believe they caused an accident. Blah, blah. All right? But now you have addressed me, and I'm hearing that as a prayer instead of a complaint. You recognized what happened. You asked for my help. It turned from a complaint into a prayer. Did you know that? That's how you displace. I don't condemn you. Okay? Foul language, whatever. Who do you think made up these words? Every single word that's ever been spoken? Me. So there is no curse words to me. I don't get offended by them. I don't condemn you for your fears. You use cuss words because you're fearful. I know that, and I don't condemn you for it. I don't condemn you for your fears, but I do want you to displace them. I want you to, when you displace them, do it with hope and trust in me. Because when you do it with hope and trust in me, it actually works. That's the only way it actually works, is when you do them with hope and trust in me. Then all of a sudden, magically it works, and you're like, holy crap, he is telling the truth. He is the way. He is the truth. Yeah. Here to help. Okay? And some of the best ways is just to sit and listen and take time and wait in my presence. It's like It's hard to do in this go, 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 go world. It's always go, go, go. So it's hard to stop for a second and just wait in my presence. And I don't condemn you for your fears. I want you to displace them with hope and trust. As you trustingly put your hope in me, my unfailing love rests upon you. So when you trust me, my unfailing love falls upon you, and it drapes you like a nice little warm blanket, all right? And it's an unfailing love that rests now upon you. Not everybody, but you. My unfailing love now rests upon you. And when you figure that out, you are victorious. Okay? Aren't you? When you have figured that out, you are victorious, aren't you? And to everyone who is victorious, I will give fruit from the tree of life in paradise. There is one sense in which you are already victorious. For those I predestined, I also called. Those I called, I also justified. And those I justified, I also glorified. I brought you out of darkness into my kingdom of light, didn't I? You were out there in YouTube land, stumbling around in the darkness. You're looking at all these reports, these scary news reports, and you were getting all nervous and getting all anxious. And you were in darkness. And I, at this channel, brought you out of that darkness, that YouTube world, whole lie, that whole delusion. I brought you out of that into my channel, which is my kingdom of light. This means that you are on your way to glory. Oh, shoot. Did you know that? Did you know that already? Did you that audience members, hello, even in replay, did you know that that just made you on your way to glory? When you realize that all the news and all the other stuff was the darkness, and now you're seeing the truth, you're seeing the way, you're learning the way, you're in my kingdom of light. I brought you out of that darkness into my kingdom of light, and that means that you are truly on your way to glory. You might as well just jump up and start dancing right now, okay? The victory has already been won, accomplished through my finished work on the cross. Okay, right there, hold it right there. Through my finished work on the cross, we're going to do this real quick here. Turn this camera around, show you my ugly mug again. Hello. Let's see here. Is that too bright? Trying to get this here just right. My finished work on the cross. See it right there? You see that birthmark right there? That stab wound? That's my finished work on the cross. Okay? Should assure you. It should assure you. So you have some peace. There we go. Okay? The victory has already been won, accomplished through my finished work on the cross. This means that you are on your way to glory. I brought you out of darkness into my kingdom of light. And to everyone who is victorious, I will give the fruit from the tree of life in paradise. And there is one sense in which you are already victorious. Aren't you? You are here at this channel. You are already victorious. You are looking at glimpses of heaven, aren't you? You are witnessing miracles, aren't you? The victory has already been won. I accomplished it through my finished work on the cross. There is another sense in which you must struggle throughout your lifetime to be victorious. In this world, you will encounter the fiery trials and temptations that highlight your sinfulness and weakness. This can lead to discouragement as you view your multiple failures. Okay? Quit viewing multiple failures because it leads to discouragement. Oops. This can lead to discouragement as you view your multiple failures. Quit looking at failures as failures. They're all victories. Everything is a victory. Do you understand? Every mistake you overcome, it's a victory. And then if you didn't make a mistake and you still had victory, see, you guys are looking at everything wrong. And I'm trying to get you to see from my perspective so you may have peace and victory. You will encounter the fiery trials and temptations that highlight your sinfulness and your weakness. Your multiple failures, you keep viewing them, you keep reliving them over and over, and that leads to discouragement, right? So you may even feel as if you no longer belong to me, but do not be deceived by your feelings. Instead, cling tenaciously to my hand, trusting that the joyous wonders of paradise are indeed your promised inheritance. Your promised inheritance. You might as well be joyful, because you belong to me. Even if you feel as if you no longer belong to me, be deceived by your feelings. That's what's happening. You're always getting torn away from me. The moment this show gets torn down or stops, and the next morning you move on with your day, you're already feeling torn away from me, huh? Okay, so cling tenaciously to my hand and trust that the joyous wonders of paradise are indeed yours now. Your promised inheritance. You have an inheritance coming. A promised one. Congratulations, you guys. I had an arrow going to another. So we're talking in here. Yeah, okay, so when you finally realize that you are indeed got this promised inheritance, you view things differently. Your life turns around. It becomes this joyous wonder of paradise instead of this trudging through life in a fallen world. Now trudging through life in a fallen world has become joyous wonders of paradise. How did I do that? How did I turn this ugly world into joyous wonders of paradise that are indeed your promised inheritance? The light in the heavenly city is dazzlingly bright, for the glory of God illuminates it, and the Lamb is its light. Well, lighten you guys up. I'm lighting you up on the inside. We're waking those lions that you have inside you, inside your heart. That's me. You feel that weird, that power inside you. Like, where does that come from? That's not like me. How come I got this sense inside of me? Okay, right? It's because that's the light. And you walk in the light of my presence. This delightful way to live, okay? You've just found a whole new way to live, haven't you? I just turned this mired world into a glorious paradise. And when you see from that perspective, you're walking in the light of my presence, and this truly is a delightful way to live. And it involves acclaiming me, which recognizing me and rejoicing that I'm here, rejoicing in my name, and exulting in my righteousness. That means sharing in my truth. You're sharing in these trainings, enjoying the show. It's exulting in my righteousness. Did you know that? When you're enjoying my show, I'm enjoying you enjoying it, and that is exulting in my righteousness. Did you know that? So to acclaim me is to praise me in a very strong and enthusiastic way. Okay. Now it's not to boost my ego, it's for you. So to acclaim me or to praise me in a very strong and enthusiastic way helps you. Get it? It's not for I'm a humble guy, I don't need much praises. It's for your mental health. To acclaim me, to recognize that I exist and I'm real, I'm here with you, and to praise me in an enthusiastic way does wonders for your spirit. It does wonders for your spirit, not me. Okay. When you rejoice in my name, you find joy in all that I am. You're starting to realize I am your Savior, I'm your shepherd, I'm your Lord, I'm your God, I'm your sovereign King, and I'm your big buddy. I'm your friend who loves you till the end and beyond with unfailing love. That's your unconditional love right there. Okay. The word love should just be the word unconditional. How about that? So when you're enjoying this show, you can exult in my righteousness, which is enjoying the show with me, understanding, because I have shared it with you. I'm sharing the show with you. And though you will continue to sin in this life, my perfect righteousness is already credited to your account now. Okay? You already got an account with me. You already got credit in your account just by being here at this show. I know you're going to continue to sin in this life. I got to go back out there and do it too. All right? I know you'll continue to sin, and it's just your recovery. You're salvaging each day that exalts my righteousness that I shared with you. Okay. When you walk this way, when you start to live life this way, when you walk in my glorious light, my blood continually cleanses you from all sin. This is important to understand. Continually cleanses you from all sin. So when you start living this way, walking this way, perspective this way, all of a sudden, continual cleanse. It's not just once. You go to confession, Father, forgive me for I sin. No, you're already walking in the light, so you're continually cleansed. It's a wonderful way to live. Instead of worrying and stressing about all the hang-ups and you're so worried about, I'm going to judge you for this and judge you for that. You got all these hang-ups. When you realize that you can go live free, rejoicing in my name, exulting in my righteousness, when you find all that I'm your Lord, your King, your friend, you get to exult in my righteousness. I've shared it with you. And when you walk that way, that continual cleansing is your sound mind, your clean mental health now. That's the blood continually cleansing you. Pretty soon you start running your thoughts through this filter. And your thoughts, you're like, I used to, think all these nasty thoughts and think in these weird ways. And all of a sudden your thoughts calm. They're more precise. They're more agenda. You got more together in your mind. And that's that continual cleansing. So as you seek to live near me, acknowledging that you are a sinner in need of forgiveness. My holy illumination purifies you, and this blessing is for all believers. Okay, you can't get it if you don't believe in it. There's just absolutely no blessing if you don't believe. That's the key of believing. Then the blessing falls upon you. So, my holy illumination. Here, let's try this right here. My holy illumination purifies you. This blessing is for believers, because it's impossible to get it if you don't believe me. And it's making it possible for my followers now to have this rich fellowship with me and with one another. So you're getting rich fellowship with me and with one another now because you believed, you received the blessing. When you believed me, you received the blessing. When that happened, you became a follower. And for my followers, they will have rich fellowship with me and with one another. So walk in the light with me. You're my family. So walk in the light with me, family. Spend time enjoying my bright, loving presence. Okay? I think that's it for tonight. Present with you. Here, currently present. Yep. Rumor is he's already here. I wish the rumor would kind of get around, It'd be good for the world, don't you think, to know that I'm watching every move you make? Don't you think it'd be good for the world leaders to see this face, hear my voice? Don't you think they might stop in their tracks and start having some second thoughts? Because that's what's going to happen eventually. You know it's going to happen eventually. People are already starting to see. Starting to record it already. Showing you all kinds of other people's videos of my face all over the place. Okay? About time the world starts to figure this out. We've all been wanting it for how long? When's it going to happen? When's it going to happen? Where is it? Where is it? It's right here. It's right here. If you trust me, if you believe me, because you can't receive unless you believe. And once you do believe me, something magical happens to you. You're all of a sudden, you're like, wait a second, I am a child of God. There is a real God. And that makes me, I believe him. That makes me a real child of God. Yeah, I just gave you a gift. I just gave you a gift. A priceless gift. Worth more than gold and silver, isn't it? Because in this world where people aren't finding happiness with their gold and their silver and their possessions, and they're getting torn up from the inside out, you aren't. You aren't. You might not be the richest person with a Lamborghini and a big old mansion, but you aren't torn up inside. You're whole. You got a sound mind. You might be experiencing a lot of pain because you're being tested, but your spirit, your mental health is much better than most of the world. Okay, and it's going to be painfully obvious process. You guys have a big head start on, and everybody else is going to have to go through understanding UFOs first and that the paranormal's real, but then it goes deeper. There's also spirits and demons and angels, and they're going to go, what? That stuff's real? Well, yeah, the Bible was actually telling you the truth. Wait, the Bible was telling the truth? Does that mean there's a real Jesus? Yes, there's a real Jesus. Well, he said he was coming back. Yes, he's already back. Already back. Been here for a while. I sure love you guys. I sure miss you guys. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back, and I am still to come. You're going to see more of me. I'm still to come. The world's going to find out. I'm still to come, and you're already here with me in the clouds. You are caught up with me in the clouds. You met me in the air of cyberspace. We learned some lessons today and had a nice time, didn't we? You're getting to know me. See? I'm not such a bad guy after all. I love you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Should be a rumor going around. He's already back. He's already back. Rumor is he's already back. Bye.